What is up? This is Josh West with Cellar Sound. Today I have an awesome video for you. We're going to be breaking down a mix that I just recently finished. I put it all into GarageBand, and we're going to go section by section, piece by piece, and have a completed mix at the end of this series. But before we get into today's video, if you haven't yet, go to cellardoorsound.co/free presets. If you are just starting out on mixing, or even if you've been mixing for a while, I created a vocal preset bundle that walks you through how to EQ, compress, and add saturation to your vocals. This preset bundle works in GarageBand and Logic. And if you go sign up for it, I have a tutorial video that comes with it. It's a training video, and it shows you how to put these on your computer, how to load them into your sessions, and most importantly, it teaches you how to manipulate these settings so that they work for any vocal. This is kind of a fast track way into understanding EQ and compression, and I've gotten so many reviews on this preset bundle, and it has helped people from voiceover artists to singers, and I've even had a lot of people use these presets on acoustic guitars. The compressors and the saturation work really well on acoustic guitars. So go grab that at cellardoorsound.co/free presets and download it. It's free. I made it for you, so definitely go do it. All right, so this is a full session. We haven't had this on this channel yet. I mixed this song in Pro Tools, and we just finished it, and the instrumentation is so good, and it has such a good sound, so I thought I would bring it in here and show you guys how I would mix it all inside of GarageBand, all with using completely free plugins. The players were great, all this, and yeah, I'm just going to walk you through exactly what I would do and break it down into a bunch of videos into a series for you. So let's just listen to this, because the first thing that I do when I get a mix and I import stuff into GarageBand, even if I've recorded it myself, I will just play the song. Just put all the faders up at Unity. I'll pan a couple things that are stereo, and then I'll just play the song and listen. And a lot of times I will find myself immediately being drawn to something. So I'll hear something and I will kind of act upon it, and it starts to kind of create the song. A lot of times I'll start with drums and then do bass and kind of create that, but before I do that, I want to make sure that I'm listening for the most important parts and making decisions that will influence the drums and will influence everything else in the mix. So let's listen to the intro of this song here. All right, so the first thing I heard whenever I played this song was this intro electric guitar line, and I immediately knew I wanted to make these guitars sound good kind of right off the bat to just start the tone of the song. And then I wanted to add this kind of delay effect that I'm hearing in my mind in this song. And this is very simple that anybody could do, that kind of creates some more depth in your electric guitars. So let's listen to this guitar part in the intro here. I'm going to solo these two electric guitars. They're mono guitars, which I actually really like when people record them this way. And I have one panned hard left and one panned hard right. Let's listen. So you can hear the right guitar is pretty dry. It's kind of just driving the beat, and the left guitar is doing kind of this hook, this line. It's kind of cool, and there's a little bit of effects on his guitar already, and I want to kind of maximize that. So the first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to start on this first guitar. It's like the most important guy right here, and we're going to go ahead and add a plugin to him. And I'm going to use a free plugin that I've used a handful of times here. Where are you at? Fuse Audio Labs, and this is the RSW2395C. A link to this plugin will be in the description below. So this plugin is really great. It's a great analog sounding EQ. I honestly can't believe it's free because it just sounds so good and it's so easy to get a really cool sound with this, especially for vocals and definitely for electric guitars. It works well with them. So I'm gonna play this track with the guitar and all the other tracks, and I'm gonna EQ this guitar. So to me, this guitar sounds just a little bit kind of dead, like the energy and life isn't there. It's recorded very clean, so we're able to manipulate it quite a bit. So normally, whenever I hear there's a loss in energy in electric guitars, I'll typically go to around 1K to 3K, and I'll want to do a boost here. And you kind of have to be careful with this because this is the same area that our vocal clarity is in, so you don't want to push too much to cover the vocals, but it's all a balance. And then the intro, there's no vocals anyway, so it works. So let's play the song. I'm gonna turn up this gain. I'm gonna exaggerate it and then move this around until I find that frequency that I'm looking for. Okay, so this is definitely the frequency, 3.2K. And I'm going to back it off, push play again, and kind of slowly move it up and try and find where I like it. And it's not too much or too little. Cool, so it just kind of brought it forward, gave it a little bit more energy. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I want to add some low end into this guitar just to make it a little more beefy. Now that we've kind of given it that energy, I just want to add some more depth to it, just bring it even more forward. So I'm going to click this 110 Hertz guy and the sliders here, and I'm going to kind of crank it up till I feel it's good. Cool, so that seems like it's in a pretty good spot already. The EQ is sounding really good. And then the last thing is I'm gonna use this drive knob. All this is doing is just adding some saturation. So I'll crank it all the way up and you can kind of hear what it's doing, and we're gonna wanna find a middle ground just to give it a little bit more spice. Cool, that sounds good as well. And you could hear whenever I had it all the way at plus 30, it was really distorting and it wasn't very pleasing. I backed that off and just got a tiny bit out of it, just a little more out of it. All right, so the last thing that we're gonna do real quick is I'm just gonna add a normal channel EQ. And I want to cut out some of the low end because we boosted so much at 100 Hertz on the first plugin, and so I want to just make sure we're not going to get any weird room noises, so I'm going to add a filter here. Cool, that sounds good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the second guitar, which is this guy here, and we're kind of going to do the same thing. So I'm going to add the same plugin we just had. And this is a very similar guitar. I think it was the same player, same guitar. So we can kind of do a similar setting and just see if it works here. Awesome. And then we're going to add a plugin, channel EQ. We're gonna do the same thing. So we're just gonna go kind of in the same area, about 50 Hertz, just to make sure we don't have any crazy low in there. Okay, so let's hear what we have so far. So I'm gonna turn off these plugins on our electric guitar, and we'll just solo these so you can really hear what's going on. So this is before any processing that we've done, no EQ. All right, and then we're gonna add our EQ that we did, and listen. Cool, so all we're doing is we're really bringing it up front. We're making it sound kind of edgy and nice. Sounds really good, and you can really hear it. We're gonna do one more comparison so I can show you it, what it sounds like in the track. That's where you notice it the most. So this is no plugins on these guitars with the track. All right, and then we're gonna add these plugins. Cool, and it really made it come out, and all of a sudden the track sounds a little bit more polished, like it's starting to sound live, which is nice. Okay, so now the next thing that we're gonna do is I really wanna add a cool effect on this first guitar. It's kind of a feature part, and it sounds a little bit boring to me, and it should be more featured. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna create a guitar delay that is going to be triggered by this left guitar with this kind of lead line, and the delay is actually going to go into the right channel to create this kind of spacey thing. So I'm going to do what I always do on this channel, and I am going to right click my electric guitar that I want the effect on, and we're going to go to new track with duplicate settings. So what this does is creates an exact replica with the plugins that I added, and it's going to be exactly the same. And then I'm going to option and click and drag this guitar down here, and we're going to call this guitar Del. I always put Del for delay. I don't know why. And then I'm going to take this pan pot here and go all the way to the right. Okay, so now we have the same guitar basically left and right. You're not going to hear much of a difference, except for it'll sound like it's coming down the center. This doesn't truly make it stereo. But now we're going to add a delay. So I'm going to go to audio units, and we're going to do another free delay that's so awesome. This Valhalla frequency echo. This thing is amazing. So I'm going to solo our left electric guitar and our guitar delay that we created. We're going to turn this mix knob to 100% so that we're just getting the delay. And I am going to basically turn the milliseconds up and try and find kind of like a, I don't know, I'm hearing a quarter note or eighth note kind of delay. And I don't want it to be like perfectly on time. I want it to be kind of off time just a little bit, just because it's a little bit more interesting and I think it's going to sound cool. So I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere in the 200 millisecond-ish range, but I'm just going to play these and then try and find where I think it sounds good with that delay. So close. Awesome. So that sounds pretty cool. So now that we have that delay, I'm gonna unsolo these so we can hear everything. I'm gonna turn this guitar delay down, and I'm gonna kind of slowly bring it up till I find a really cool spot for this. That sounds pretty good. I'm just going to raise the feedback up just a little bit. This is the amount of kind of echoes that we're getting. I just want a little bit more. Awesome. So that's a huge improvement. It sounds really cool and spacey, and it really took the track to another level. So let's mute this guitar delay and hear it without it real quick. Sounds kind of normal, sounds kind of dry, and then let's add our guitar delay. Awesome. Added a lot more depth. It's starting to basically bring out the cool parts of this track already. We haven't even really mixed anything. We haven't done the drums. We haven't done the bass, which is pretty important in a track like this. But if you can just push play and discover just cool parts in the music and kind of create these little changes and start to mix this way, it truly helps you in getting your mix off on the right start and easier to finish. Because I could have just taken this and been like, just soloed the kick and be like, all right, let's make the kick sound good and the snare sound good and the hi-hat and the rooms and overhead and bass, and then move down the guitars. But being a little bit more musical with your mixing, because mixing is musical, and just pushing play and listening for what's important, what is the draw, what draws you to the song immediately, and making those parts sound good is really powerful. And it changes the way you think about mixing, because everything else is going to come. Like the drums are going to sound great, but and we will make them sound great in the next couple videos. But just kind of finding those moments, I think will really help your mixing and help your songs. And it kind of changes the way you songwrite as well, because you're looking for those moments, those creative moments within your song. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. This is going to be a really fun series. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because every single week on Sunday, I release, or sorry, not on Sunday, every single week on Monday, I release a new video, and next week will be the second video in this series. And we're either going to do drums or bass, probably drums. We'll probably work on drums. So look forward to that, and definitely go grab that preset bundle, my Ultimate Vocal Preset Bundle. We're going to be using some presets as we move through this. And I might be able to even send you the tracks to the song so you can kind of follow along. That would be really cool. So thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day, and go create some music and send it to me. Peace out, guys. Love you.